assist for Rey Mysterio. And look at the 619 into the RKO.
Oh my goodness.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. So, wrestling isn't real. I think it's fair to say that most of you knew this already, but based on our average viewership, I'm gonna go ahead and say that at least one kid probably just might have had their life ruined. And to that kid, I should probably apologize. Yeah, I'm sorry. Life ain't easy though, and you know what makes it better? Friends. A good old-fashioned pal to lean on when the times get tough, and when it comes to kayfabe, friendship can be slightly confusing. On screen, you might see a pair of wrestlers at each other's throats, only to see them on Twitter later that night sharing a brewski. Remind me to shoot myself later for saying brewski. Anyways, I'm D-Wicket from Watch WWE, and here's 10 WWE enemies who are actually pretty good friends in real life. Number 10, Rey Mysterio and Andrade. One of the hottest feuds of 2019 to go absolutely nowhere and then just get picked up a couple months later for no reason. These two luchadors might have produced some of WWE TV's highest quality matches in quite a long time. Having just rekindled their feud somehow centering around Rey's returning son Dominic, they might have some of the deepest bloodlust in terms of the old kayfabe. In real life though, these guys are tight as hell, and honestly, who could be surprised? Wrestling has always been built upon respect, and if I had to single out one style that seemed especially respect-oriented, it would be Japanese wrestling, obviously. But if there was a second place, it would be Lucha Libre, and given that these are two of the best luchadors walking the planet, it really shouldn't be a surprise that there's a lot of respect between the two.
Going up top, Andrade, he's in position. Dial it up. 619.
Number 9, Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Congrats to these two, honestly, for having probably two of the most interesting and bizarre gimmicks in WWE. Well, one of them at least. I don't know what happened to the Demon King. I guess maybe a long stay vacation to hell? Seriously, we haven't seen him since... I'm getting off topic. Bray Wyatt was used recently to great effect to help write Balor off of television, being essentially the Fiend's first true victim, and so far the only person to fall victim to that horrifying neck snap should-be finisher murder scene from the Hunger Games move. Despite having a feud before this as well, the boys get along more than well backstage. Again, not too surprising given the fact that they both hide demonous alter ego things.
Balor has turned his back on Bray Wyatt. Overhead kick by Balor.
Number 8, Jonathan Moxley and Seth Rollins. Sure, or as I should say, Wacky Uncle Dean. Oh, Jesus Christ, I really don't miss Dean Ambrose. These guys have been boys since way before the Shield days, with a great feud going all the way back to the days of FCW. While they might have made up on the way out the door, the majority of the last 5 years for these two have been nothing but hatred, at least in front of the cameras. Behind the scenes, the boys plus Roman have always been brothers, but Rollins did make that bullshit food off my plate remark, but we're going to pretend that didn't happen because they're probably still good friends regardless.
I learned so much from this man, and it breaks my heart to see him go, but I love you so much, my friend.
Number 7, Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss. While Natalya was the wrestler picked to be paired up as friends with Ronda, and while they actually are pretty good friends now, I assume, it was actually Ronda's feuder, Alexa Bliss, who probably had the closest non-horsewoman relationship with the rowdy one. Apparently being a big proponent in not only getting Ronda to WWE, but also accustomed to the way things work there, the two seem to be on pretty great terms, which is an awesome reminder of just how fucking good Alexa is at bitching people out, even if she secretly loves them.
Ronda Rousey is assaulting the women's champion. Rousey's not even supposed to be in the freaking building. Yeah, Rousey's gonna break her arm.
Number 6, the 4 Horsewomen. And hey, speaking of the Horsewomen, how about WWE's version of the band of ballin' bitches? Seriously, why has the word bitch come up so frequently on WWE TV lately? Originally, this spot was going to go to Becky and Charlotte before realizing that since 2014, these four have pretty much all had some sort of rivalry against one another in some capacity, with Banks versus Charlotte, Charlotte versus Becky, and Bayley versus Banks probably being the most notable. No matter who's hitting who on TV, these four share a very special bond, being the second wave of fantastic NXT women who essentially killed the Divas era.
There it is. They call themselves the 4 Horsewomen of NXT. And it's hard to argue. They changed the game.
Number 5, Randy Orton and Rey Mysterio. On one hand, of course they're pals. They seem like two of the chillest dudes, not just behind the scenes, but maybe alive, and have both been in the WWE game since 2002. But, you know, then on the other hand, yeah, no invisible glass walls called kayfabe are going to stop lines from that, like hurting just a tad bit if you're Rey Mysterio, I would guess. While these two rekindled their feud for a little while last year and still remain on opposite sides of the heel-face space-time continuum, it was nothing but love behind the scenes. I guess you could throw in Randy Orton and just about anyone, honestly. The dude's one of the most beloved guys backstage and seems to be tight with Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles as well, especially, which is really weird because their feuds were way more vicious.
Randy Orton with the assist for Rey Mysterio to win the 619 into the
Oh my goodness.
Number 4, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. This is a fresh one as the pair just now split apart very recently on SmackDown, but if it wasn't clear from how they've been portrayed for the last few months on television, the two are pretty fond of one another. Kenny Omega, Ryback, Rowan, Daniel Bryan's close friendships read as such a fucking bizarre list of names without context, and honestly, much like Orton, pretty much any babyface name could probably fit into Rowan's spot right here. While Randy is beloved backstage for his natural talent and chill demeanor, Bryan is just as beloved backstage for his insane professionalism, massive, literal #1 top upper echelon amount of talent, and most of all, the fact that he's just a fucking great person. All of this aside, though, I can't get over the idea of Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan at a heavy metal concert. I just imagine the beard, goat face man thrashing his head around. I just can't do it.
You look beautiful, Rowan. Magnificent. That's what a tag team champion looks like. Not like the rest of these jokers.
Number 3, Baron Corbin and literally everyone. Okay. Orton and Bryan had something similar going, okay? But at least Rey and Rowan are specifically great friends to them respectively. Like, we actually do know that. When it comes to Baron Corbin, though, he's a little bit different. We don't know any specific friends of his, but somehow the dude is even more beloved than Orton or Bryan. Seriously, if the 2019 rumors have been stable, Andrade and Baron Corbin are the top 2 baby faces of the backstage area. Everyone loves this guy, down to the point where Vince supposedly pushed him so hard due to his good looks and even greater attitude. It's so different though, because I mean, it's Baron, get the fuck off my television, not heel heat, I hate you heat Corbin. Yet, apparently, he's everybody's favorite. The world it's burning. Seth Rollins burned it down all the way to its ashes, and I don't know what to do.
That's why nobody likes you.
These guys like me, right?
Number 2, Samoa Joe and AJ Styles. One of the most personal rivalries of 2018 and likely the best thing to come out of Styles' WWE title run. Samoa Joe and AJ Styles are great examples of characters that were so well fleshed out, especially in a rivalry that you might have actually thought there was some love lost between the two. Between the brutal brawls, vicious assaults, and oh, Wendy's! These two essentially spent 4 months at each other's throats, yet let's not forget where they came from. These are a pair of TNA boys, both from the early Ring of Honor days. So once again I say, we shouldn't even be surprised that they've been boys for a long time. That's an AJ Styles reference. I'm gonna go home now.
He's at my house, Paige. This dude's at my house. What are you doing at my house?
And number 1, Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins. Okay, look, I know what the title of the list says. Okay, I know what the video's called. It says best friends, and listen, no one's gonna be surprised when I burst this bubble. These two are not best friends. However, given public perception of a guy like Brock Lesnar, I think it's fair to say that hearing just how friendly he is with not only Seth Rollins, but also guys like AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Daniel Bryan, is something of a shocker, maybe still worth number 1 on this list. Definitely is to me. Apparently Brock doesn't just have high respect for these guys, but also forms the closest things he has to actual friendships in WWE with these top level workhorse-esque guys, seeing something of himself in them, which does actually kind of make sense, but also no, it doesn't. It's Brock Lesnar. It's very odd to try and imagine Brock backstage just casually eating a piece of cake, having a chat with any of the dudes that he suplexed out of the building before, but hey ho, we have definitely seen weirder things happen in this company.
I'm out here trying to be a champion that you never had the guts to be.
And those are 9 WWE enemies who are best friends in real life, and Baron Corbin, who is just an anomaly. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. After liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and notifications, ring that bell.